Alrighty, heard about this. UN judge guilty of slavery. United Nations judge Lydia Mogambi, 49, has been found guilty of forcing a young woman to work as a slave in the UK. She was convicted on charges including conspiring to facilitate the commission of a breach of UK immigration law, facilitating travel with a view to exploitation, forcing someone to work, and conspiring to intimidate a witness. Mogambi, who is also High Court judge in Uganda, speaks volumes about Uganda, will be sentenced at Oxford Crown Court on May 2nd. Alright, so that's the basics. Now there's a video of her getting arrested, so I'm going to pop that in, and then I'll take it from there.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention my question, something which later on in court.
Officer.
Anything you do say may be used as evidence. All right. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy if you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need her to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
So she's a judge, diplomat, and a student? Okay. You'd think she'd know better than to have a slave, but anyway. Alright, so this article is during the court trial or whatever. Gasps were heard from the public gallery as the verdicts were given, and the court was cleared as the defendant appeared unwell. Caroline Huey, KC, prosecuting, told jurors during the trial Lydia Mogambi has exploited and abused her alleged victim, taking advantage of her lack of understanding of her rights to properly paid employment and deceiving her as to the purpose of her coming to the UK. Yeah, if this woman doesn't know her rights, then this judge woman can take advantage of her pretty easily. She alleged Mogambi, who was studying for a law PhD at the University of Oxford, had conspired with Ugandan Deputy High Commissioner John Leonard Mugerwa to arrange for the young woman to come to the UK. So, I'm getting the feeling that Uganda's pretty corrupt. In exchange, Mogambi would attempt to speak to a judge who was in charge of legal action against Mr. Mugerwa. So in other words, he helps her get a slave, and then she helps him with his legal troubles. Got it. She was also found guilty of conspiring to intimidate the woman to withdraw her support for the prosecution and to have the charges against her dropped. But instead, I think she got more charges. Nice. Mogambi's trial heard she had the intentions of obtaining someone to make her life easier and at the least possible cost to herself. Well, slaves do make it easier. And they are pretty cheap. I mean, all you have to do is feed them, right? There's just that little thing of anti-slavery, but she and that guy found a way around that, didn't they? She denied forcing the young Ugandan woman to do household chores and said she always treated her with love, care, and patience. The thing about love, everybody has their own definition of love. Same goes with care and patience. The young woman Mogambi, tricked into coming to the UK, who cannot be named for legal reasons, told the court previously she felt lonely and stuck after her working hours were limited. So is this former slave actually complaining that she didn't have enough working hours? Okay. According to her UN profile page, Mogambi was appointed to the body's judicial roster in May 2023, 3 months after police were called to her address in Oxfordshire. So, she got appointed to this body 3 months after police were called. So the police were already called to her address and she still got the position? Okay. Maybe they shouldn't have given her the job if she had the police called on her. Maybe. I mean, that's what I'm reading anyway. Thames Valley Police Commander for Oxfordshire, Ben Clark, said Lydia Mogambi is an extremely qualified lawyer and Ugandan High Court judge and UN Criminal Tribunal judge. So she's on a criminal tribunal and she's a high court judge in Uganda, but she still wanted to have a slave. Wouldn't she have enough money to just straight up pay a maid? Not only is she corrupt, but she's one hell of a penny pincher to the point where she's literally risked her careers just to have a cheap slave. After the offenses had been reported to the police, Mogambi tried to evade justice by repeatedly claiming she had diplomatic immunity due to her status. Any immunity Mogambi may have enjoyed as a UN judge has been waived by the Office of the United Nations Secretary General. Yeah, there's no way they're going to back for her, because slavery is a universal no-no. The UN Secretary General is like, aw, hell no. Well, anyway, wrapping this video up, one of the main reasons I'm skeptical about letting in people from a third world country like Uganda is the corruption. Plain and simple. Well, anyway, take care out there in clown world.